friends, it's Becca with Beautiful Mess Plans. Today I'm here to film a meal planner setup, so it'll be pretty short and sweet, but it's been a while since I've done this, so I thought we would do it again. I'm going to preface this video by saying that I'm filming this on the same day as Tuesday's video, and if you watch that, I got distracted very easily by the Blue Angels, and that probably will not change. It's just loud, and then we're not going to the air show because it's supposed to be like 104 this weekend, so I like to see the airplanes. I'm kind of like a little kid at heart. Anyway, I thought we would do, in case you didn't know, I think there's a playlist for my meal planner or recipe planner. I'm not sure. But I've done one of these before. I can try to link it somewhere. But this is my meal/recipe TN. So I use a TN for a really long time, and I don't obviously anymore, but I still use it for food purposes. So this is a A5. I honestly do not remember the name of it, but it's really dirty, from Planner Perfect, and I love it. So what I keep in here, for those that don't know, is this first book is a 12-month planner book from Planner Perfect. All the books in here are from Planner Perfect. 12-month planner book from Planner Perfect, with the grid in between. We'll talk more about this one specifically, that I use for my meal planning. And then I have several other books. So I have this main dishes one that has the recipe insides that I use for, obviously, main dishes. I have a sides book, and then I have a baking book. This was my one from last year, which was a B6 size. And how I do it is basically when I go to plan a meal, I have everything here. So my recipes are all kept. Well, I'm still need to add a ton more, and maybe we'll do one of those, a recipe plan with me soon. But when I go to plan a meal, I just grab this and it has everything I need. So, and then what I do is when I go to the grocery store, I just take my book out, which I need to do anyway. I just take my book out and my pen, and I take this as my list and cross out as I go. So that is how I meal plan, more or less. But I always, I have the September Cocoa Daisy stuff, and it's not necessary, but I do kind of do something here. So I thought we'd set that up, and yeah. So let's set the rest of that to the side. Like I said, this is my meal planning book. It's an A5 size, 12 month. So what I do is, let's go to the current month. I actually just planned for this current week. So it's usually on Fridays. I will meal plan, and I go to the grocery store on Monday. So then I go Monday through Sunday. Even though this goes Sunday through Saturday, I meal plan personally Monday through Sunday. And I plan out my meals here, which I like having the monthly view, because then I can, if I know something's coming up, like my birthday's coming up, or we're going to be out of town, like here, I could just like pre-write it in. It's not a pretty book by any means. Like, it's messy, it gets dirty, it's marked on, but it's kind of nice to be able to see what we have. And let's see, let's go back to a previous month. If we try something new and we liked it, I tend to I try to remember to highlight it so that I remember that we liked that meal, so that most of the meals I can look at and I'm like, oh, we've had this before. This, this is one of our normal meals. But if it's not highlighted, like if it's a new meal and it's not highlighted, I'm going to assume that we didn't like it. And if it's highlighted, then we did like it. So, and then I just take the middle pages. I put a little washi. I make my own. I have my own stickers that I put down to marks per section, because I shop per section. It just gets me through faster. And then I just, like, this is for this current week, my grocery list, so it's not crossed off yet. And yeah, so as I'm meal planning, so it's like, oh, I need the stuff for nachos, I just jot it down in the right section, and then I'm good to go. Hope that made sense. So I thought we would go ahead and set up September with the Cocoa Daisy stuff, because it came, and I just have it all in my pouch. I'll kind of pull stuff out, and I've talked about this before, and I'll talk about it again, but I get the main planner kit, the planner add-on, the sticker add-on, the journaling kit. I do get the pouch, and then the Daisy Weeks calendar sticker kit. So we don't obviously need all of that. So I'll just kind of pull out what we do need. So I like to highlight at the top. We'll use one of these washies. I gotta say, this isn't necessarily my favorite, maybe we'll give the washi cutter another shot. My favorite kit, but it's not bad. I feel like I should use the really obnoxious bright colors because I'm never going to use these anywhere else. The black ones I could use somewhere else. So I feel like I should do that. I don't decorate really at all. Here, let me get this stuff out of the way. I don't really decorate any more than just, I trace over with whatever matching color. I put my dates on and my stickers, and then I set up these weeks. But I don't put like a bunch of deco or whatever, because it's just my meal planner. But it's kind of fun. I hate meal planning, so it's kind of nice to have something cute to look at that doesn't make me want to poke my eyes out, because, you know. So I think we're gonna use this one. It's just, I have it here, and it's the only like wide one. If I could find the edge for it, there it is. So yeah, meal planning is definitely not my favorite thing to do by a long shot. I dread it every single Friday when I have to do it. Oh, that worked better than the last time I tried to do that. So, oh, and the other thing we'll do is we'll put on my tab. So I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward you and put the date covers on, because that's a pretty boring thing to watch. So let's do it. All right, so I also feel like I should mention that I don't plan, I mean, I don't know if that was readily obvious. I don't plan like a whole month at a time. I do it week by week, just because I don't know. I can't imagine doing it a whole month at a time. I'm sure some people do and it works great for their family, but we also don't have, despite being 5 of us, we don't use anything like Costco or Sam's Club. I actually just shop at like the neighborhood market, like Walmart neighborhood market, or, you know, that kind of thing. I don't keep a bunch of extra stuff. I don't like to have a bunch of extra stuff. We also don't have like a deep freeze or a second fridge or anything of that nature. So I don't have the room for a bunch of stuff. This feels so chaotic, but that's okay. I'm gonna pull out. So these are from one of the Happy Planner books. They are, it's one of the older ones. It's like one of the real functional ones that I use to mark along here. So I think I use the smaller size. I do. So let's pull these out and figure out which one we think would look best. Well, we have a lot going on. I don't think I want to use the green. I don't really care for the blue. Maybe. Nah, I'm overruling myself. Okay, I think it's between these two. It doesn't really matter that much. Where is this one going? This one's gonna go back towards the top too, so it's gonna be next to this thing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It is a meal planner. September is, however, a much longer word. Normally I have to cut these down because they are bulky. Not bulky, but they're thick. we'll see if September even fits on here, because it's very large. Kind of goes outside, but that's okay. And I put it on crooked, but again, that's okay. Doesn't matter. I'm really the only one that sees this book. My husband will dig out my, you know, like this TN as a whole if he's cooking dinner and needs the recipe. And by dig it out, I mean mostly he says, where do I find the recipe? And I tell him where, and then he brings me it once he can't find it. He doesn't cook a ton. He does cook more on the weekends, which is nice because I definitely like having the break. I used to love cooking, and then I had kids, and I stopped loving it so much. But I have two somewhat picky eaters. My oldest, she used to be a little bit picky. She used to be a little bit picky, but she's pretty much always been kind of the, you know, eat anything. However, my two youngest, my middle child, who is literally like skin and bone, he's so scrawny. He's incredibly picky. It's really hard to get him to eat things. Like he's just really, really picky. So he's a bit of a challenge. He's getting a little bit better. I've been able to convince him into a little bit more, like, how do you know you don't like it until you try it, kind of. So I'm hoping that that trend continues as he gets older, but that's been a little challenging. And then I have a 4-year-old, and I don't feel like there needs to be much more said about that, other than she's 4, and that's what 4-year-olds do. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put washi down on these pages, because I used to like not pre-prep all of my weeks like this. I would just like, the week would come and I would put the pages together. But then I found I really hated that. Like, I seemed even less likely to meal plan if I had to kind of put my thing, like get it ready to go, which I always meal plan. I just would put it off longer, and then I'd have to do some of it during the weekend, and then I'd be grumpy about it. So it's kind of like just bite the bullet and get it all done with at the beginning of the month, and then it's done. So this isn't exactly the most exciting of videos. I will agree with that, but it took me a while to, sorry, I'm clearing my throat. It took me a while to kind of figure out what worked best in terms of meal planning, because I always found that I was like either rewriting stuff or missing stuff on my list, or, you know, whatever. And I don't order my groceries online. I for pickup or drop off, I always shop myself, because I don't like doing that. It is not something that works well for us. So, sorry, I needed this. So, okay, we were having a issue. It's resolved now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11. So I count about midway through, halfway through the page, and split my page into 2 columns, obviously. Okay, that was slightly chaotic, actually. What's weird Sorry, now I'm digging again. What's weird to me is the fact that I'm already setting up September. Honestly, I feel like I just set up August. So what I do now is I will go through with the stickers that I made and then mark each of the sections. It's nothing all that exciting. It's very repetitive, but it's like when you find something that works, and I only do it once a month because I only, you know, I set it up once and then I'm done, which is really nice, honestly, just to have it, you know. I'm sure I've tried like pre-made meal planners out there, and what I found is that I don't like them because I end up with a ton of wasted space that I could have been using for other things, such as like the actual grocery list, because they have like breakfast, lunch, and dinner on there. Well, breakfast, my kids always do the same thing. My husband does whatever, and I kind of do whatever. Lunch, my husband eats leftovers, and my kids mostly eat actually school food for lunches, and so then it's just me and my daughter. I pretty much always eat salads, and she always eats the same thing, so it's like I don't really need to rewrite that constantly. So it just becomes a lot of wasted space that I'm like, I could be using this for other things. And it's not that I have a problem with leaving things blank. It's more that we're a family of 5. So when I do buy food, it tends to be a lot. And the grocery lists are always really small on those. And I need more space. And then that doesn't, you know, do me any good in the long run because I have no space. So kind of making my own thing works really well, and I find dividing by section works well because I am not backtracking because I just cross things off, and I just can write it in as I'm going, you know. So if it's like pantry here, you know, it works for me. And so I wanted to show in case someone else needs feeling a little bit lost in their meal planning. So we have the monthly set up, so I'll be able to just write in meals when I go to meal plan. Actually, for next Friday, or I guess it would be tomorrow for you guys when you see this video, I would meal plan for this week into September, and then I would write my grocery list here, and then so on and so forth. When there is an extra week, so there's only 4 weeks, so 1, 2, 3, 4, which means this week has no home. And actually what I might do, because most of this week is in August, is there are extra pages in the back. So I'll just set up a page here for that grocery list. And so what I'll do is actually, for this week, I'll set up an August page here. And then when I plan the week of the 4th, that'll be this page, if that made sense. So we're starting to struggle. I've had to pause it several times. You get the gist of it. I'm going to stop talking. But that's my meal planner. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.